They say Filipino literature is vanishing from our lives, not because it's lost, but because we've stopped searching for its meaning. But this case isn't just fiction. According to the GMA Integrated News, only less than 50% of both Filipino adults and children admitted to having ever read books or literature that are not required for school purposes. Globally, UNESCO reports that over 600 million children and adolescents aren't achieving minimum proficiency in reading, even though most are enrolled in schools. For out of school children, foundational skills in literacy and numeracy are further from grasp.
We have a problem. Nobody's reading, nobody's connecting. Despite government efforts to improve literacy rates in the Philippines, recent studies have shown that many students need help with reading comprehension, vocabulary development, and critical thinking skills. And the suspects? Test only reading, boring lessons, and digital distractions.
So, we are up against boredom, burnout, and TikTok.
Exactly. But why should Filipino students read more? Because stories shape who we become. Reading grows our imagination, sharpens our minds, strengthens our language, and preserves a culture that's uniquely ours. Readers develop empathy, analytical skills, and resiliency. Reading is for discovering who we are. Filipino stories like those by Luwalhati Bautista or legends like Ibong Adarna teach us empathy, wisdom, and pride. And yet, the 2018 PISA assessment showed that Filipino students rank lowest in reading out of 79 countries. I don't get why we have to read poems like from 100 years ago. Yeah, why care about Ibong Adarna when we have Netflix or K-dramas? They are just one tap away.
Today, Filipino teens spend over 10 hours a day online, mostly on social media or games. When books don't reflect their lives or leave out voices from today's youth, they tune out.
We can use literature circles and lit squad clubs. Students form lit squads to debate, dramatize, or remix work. Be it Dekada 60, mga ibang mandaragit, or even Wattpad stories. Philippine classroom studies shows that these circles can boost engagement and retention. Using literature circles enhances the impact of culturally relevant texts by combining independent reading. Students read relatable texts and deepen their own understanding through peer discussions.
That is right, no? And also, educators can use performance-based and digital activities like dramatic TikTok versions of Il Filibusterismo, Balagtasan Battles, or maybe graphic novels based on Cebuano myths, turning literature into shared performance. So globally, tech plus reading boost voluntary reading among teens. So it will help them or it will encourage them to read more by the use or by the help of technology.
That's a good suggestion. We can also use local text, local voices. Dive into regional stories, spoken word poetry, or anthologies. Invite local authors to share how stories shape their lives. Philippine pilots show these approaches increase engagement in both urban and rural schools.
Yes, because stories mirror us, our families, struggles, and dreams. Because literature is us.
Filipino literature isn't missing, it's waiting. In every forgotten page, in every untold story, our voices echo, our dreams survive. If we want to shape a nation that thinks, feels, and remembers, we must read, not just for grades, for growth, for empathy, for pride. When we reclaim our literature, we reclaim ourselves and write a future only Filipinos can imagine. To Filipino students everywhere, open a story, discover your roots, shape your future, be a literary detective. Read, perform, and share our stories because our voices matter more than ever.